the sea. Yeah, I'm Sarah, I'm down the road. I've seen farewell, no church. May the good Lord bless your soul. This is now what you heard. You know you drink corn liquor, then you wild a harmless skirt.
Well, the thing I think about the blues is it didn't start in the North. In Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, whatsoever it is. It didn't start in the East, neither the North. It started in the South, from what I'm thinking.
Start from slavery.
Yeah.
The flat, fertile Mississippi Delta, stretching from Memphis in the north to Vicksburg in the south, was cotton country, where blacks substantially outnumbered whites and lived a sharecropper's life that kept them tied to the same plantation year after year, creating music that dealt with the conditions of their life head on.
The most distinctive thing, of course, about blues idiom music, and that when I use that, that's to include jazz or any aspect of it, is its emphasis on percussive statement. And that's from its idiomatic source in the so-called black community of the United States, who African-derived disposition to use all instruments as if they were extensions of an African talking drum. So the music is incantatory and percussive in that way.
There's just one photograph of Charlie Patton in existence. But this womanizing, hard-drinking, sometime preacher from the Dockery plantation is the first Delta blues man we can put a name to. He played and sang with a rhythmic complexity that influenced top Delta blues artists from Son House and Robert Johnson to Muddy Waters.
Certainly, if you look at early blues recordings by people like Charlie Patton, the melodies there are not European in any real sense. They're like very, very narrow compass to the melodies, a lot of pitch play and microtonal flattening of pitches.
Blind Lemon's singing, filled with moans and hollers, along with his hammer and guitar style, influenced a wide range of bluesmen once he began recording in the 1920s, making him, for a time, the most successful down-home blues singer in America.
Black snake crawling in my room. Some pretty mama better come and get the black snake soon. My man's got a heart like a rocket in the sea.
While Bessie's sophisticated vocalizing made her the empress of the blues, Ma Rainey, with her earthy country sound and necklace of $20 gold pieces, was the confirmed mother of the blues.
Hey, Bo Weaver, don't sing them blues no more.
No, down in the southern states, they always felt like the northern states would be a place where he could really enjoy and be himself and relax.
Muddy Waters, when he got to Chicago, put together what must have been the first really electric band. Certainly there were bands using amplified instruments before this, but Muddy's band, he recruited Jimmy Rogers on second guitar and Little Walter on harmonica. There were several drummers added to the group, and the last addition, making what became the classic Muddy Waters recording band, was the addition of Otis Spann, a piano player from the Deep South who came out at the beginning of the electric band, really, I guess you could say the beginning of the rock and roll band. The South at this point, the rural South, and especially the agricultural South on the big cotton plantations, was switching over to mechanized agriculture, and suddenly there were no agricultural jobs for blacks anymore, and this was another thing that really spurred the migration north. And so as more and more black people came directly from the South and settled in Chicago, the more like Delta blues that Chicago blues became.
Then came the 1960s. Soul music and rock and roll dominated the airwaves and popular imagination. Blues music found a new audience, one that was primarily young and white, at concerts and festivals all over the world.
Because until the days of rock and roll, a lot of times, a lot of the places they just wouldn't accept us. The doors are open now that you can go into because of people like Mike, Elvis Presley, the Beatles, Fats Domino, people like that helped us out quite a bit.
I don't want you to wash my clothes. I don't want you to keep my home. I don't want, 'cause I'm tired of you. I just want to make love to you.
It was born of African roots in the rural South. First played and sung by country performers like Charlie Patton and Blind Lemon Jefferson. The blues went north with Bessie Smith and Ma Rainey. Muddy Waters and others on the Chicago scene gave it a jolt of electricity. It gave us jazz, and it gave us rock and roll. You'll hear the blues in just about every kind of American popular music. You're going to always hear the blues.
Just don't on you.